Good evening, Proxy Table Gaming fans. You're joined tonight by the Gobbo for Goblins Grotto Hobby Show. This is February. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe to get more hobby content. We're on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Patreon now, apparently, which I've forgotten to put the link on here, but that's fine. For today, hosting today is myself, Champion of Goblin Kind, winner of 3 Best Army Awards, and winner of the Golden Goblin, which only people that can come in the bottom half of tournaments can actually apply for. We have Dan.
Good evening.
Good evening. Sneaky rat face boy.
I think you missed out a point there. You may have the Golden Goblin, but I think I have the Golden Throne. Isn't that right, Mr. Gobbo?
Fake news, mate. Fake news.
Uh-huh.
And here to add some more fake news is the Beast of Burden, Mr. Tommy T.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you here. And for first on the channel, first time, we have Jordan Bladen.
Hi guys, you okay?
Good evening.
Good evening, all.
Exactly. Now, good to have you on the show, and
Thank you.
Yourself.
Can't wait.
So, coming up in this month's episode, we have a couple of community picks. We're going to be going through the Art of War, loads of wonderful photos for you guys to see and to comment on. We're then going to look at the War of Art, which is the painting competition side of it as well, showing you guys some of the different things that we saw. And then we're going to delve into models for T9A. We're going to look for Demon Legions this month. And I've got some lovely models for you to look at and be amazed by. So yeah, let's crack on. So, first community pick is, I'm going to murder this as I always do, Molino Siempre, which is Welsh, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Yakida.
Cool. So, this chappy here on Instagram, I'm not necessarily sure if he's been painting it himself, but he's been adding backgrounds to things, and I just think that it's so reminiscent of the old Warhammer that we used to play.
Mm.
So some funky
Cool.
dryad dudes there. And again, his Instagram account is just full of all of these older looking models with nice backgrounds and nice terrain. And it's one of those things that you can just look at and you spend ages looking at rather than just scrolling past.
It's really nice. It just adds a thematic sort of
Oh,
Yeah,
look at that.
Change of pants for Jordan.
I think as soon as you kind of add backgrounds and you start to kind of inverted commas physically build that world around you, it kind of puts everything down into scale a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Makes it a lot more evocative.
Yeah.
It gets it into that narrative as well, that you're actually in a world doing this rather than just A versus B equals C.
Yeah, and like with that Empire pick, whether it's the Empire or Empire of Sonstal, the background and obviously with the Bretts or the Equitane there, it's not too much. It just adds to it already, and I think it's a whole package.
Isn't that Yosemite National Park?
Yes, it is.
It's a well-known part of Britannia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On the border with Empire, actually.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Who remembers those models?
Ooh, Chaos Chosen.
Oh.
Yeah, very cool.
The ones that weighed more than the rest of your army combined.
Mm-hmm.
Just lovely models. And again, the backgrounds and the story that each of these photos
Ooh,
werewolf.
I'm really intrigued to, I don't know if they're matte paintings or just kind of digital art, but
yeah,
I mean, and to add the elements of the foreground, so just having the models stood on like ruined, in ruins or like on top of a well placed bit of cork.
Love a bit of cork, but in terms of, for me, I think it's really creative. Even if the chap hasn't painted these models himself, to be able to then get the foreground, then get the background to match, but also to get it so that it works I think is really, really fun. And again, you can just spend ages looking at these, looking at all the different details.
Yeah, like the werewolf one with the pine forest. Great model, great background. But then for me, I don't know about you guys, I'm thinking, oh, where is it in the Empire? Is he attacking a small village, or is it in like with vampire counts? And
Exactly.
it sort of sparks off a little story in your head.
Exactly. Okay, so that's Molinos Emperor on Instagram, guys. So check him out. And next up, then we have the Art of War 2022 at Bristol Independent Gaming. So this is at the new venue, which I was really, really blown away with. It was warm, Dan.
It was, yeah. I mean, that seemed to be a common thread of interest as people were signing up, wasn't it? Like, how cold is it going to be? How many fingers are we going to lose?
It was such a running joke for a few years. Like, I remember the great freeze of 2018, the original big, and people were actually playing in gloves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the people on the bottom tables, which tend to be me and Dan.
Yeah.
The cold room.
Suffice to say, the new venue had double glazing and radiators. So.
I love that, Jim. God damn it, Jim. You're my hero if you listen to this.
Yes. Jim is a hero. Okay, so here's some photos from the first part there. And so in the bottom left, you have the Gobbo and Lucky Sixes about to throw down the dice. And this is... We had our own little executive booth, didn't we, Dan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I was working with Jim to figure out kind of how many people we could fit into the tournament, and sort of like where all the tables would be. Working along with kind of Tom and staff and yourself, Gobbo, we knew that table 1 was going to be live streamed throughout the event. So we managed to get table 1 there on its own, in its own room. So there was a bit of peace and quiet on the in-game microphone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I was blown away. Like we got, like I set out to get 60 people to play, and we had the full 60 turn up on the over the weekend. No one dropped out.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely mind blowing.
Considering that the weather wasn't particularly kind to us.
Yeah. I mean, I was blown away, but there was actually a threat of people being blown away.
Exactly.
Jake Courtine almost met a sticky end when one of the windows flew open unexpectedly, but luckily he's all right.
A ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, so take it away, Dan. This is your plan.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I set out to do kind of Art of War, we called it 4.5 because there was an Art of War 4 that was planned for a couple of years back, but there was there was a few things that happened around the world that kind of prevented that from happening. But Callum and Shane had put on amazing events in the past, and I knew that I wanted to take kind of that legacy and that expectation from for like myself and from the community and kind of run with it. So yeah, it was all about making sure that the latest, like this year's Art of War, was as good as the previous ones. If I could build on it, make sure that the prize support was still there, make sure that it was, I wanted it to sell out like it had done in previous years. I wanted to make sure that the Bristol event was one that the community would kind of talk about and be really excited to come to. And yeah, some of the struggles were the fact that I've never actually hosted a tournament before.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Right. So yeah, I'd never organise a tournament. Like, whilst we're coming up to like 2 years after the first UK lockdown, like the world, and the world's starting to recover from COVID. Obviously, there are still some concerns from some people, so he was kind of tackling those problems and making sure that people who wanted that extra degree of safety had it. Big had moved, like we in the space of the last 2 years, Big had moved to a new venue, so I had to make sure that no one went to the wrong venue, which was potentially a possibility.
I don't think anyone went to the wrong venue.
Luckily, no one went to the old venue. No. But yeah, I think I can thank years and years of herding cats as a dungeon master for D&D, to be able to took all of those transferable skills to get a load of nerds into one spot at the same time.
It's good.
Yeah, it's just I've never had to do it for 60 people.
Exactly. It's a shame that both Tommy and Jordan couldn't make it that weekend, because Jordan was selfishly changing house.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Tommy was schmoozing with the bourgeoisie.
I don't even want to think about it. I can't believe I missed the best event of the year to be.
Wow, thanks, Tommy.
To be
Wow.
It's out there now.
But yeah, thankfully, well, and also sorry, the other most important thing about Art of War, it's become a bit of a ritual, is that like no one really cares about podium. What they actually care about is the winner of the Golden Throne, which is a Goblin grudge match that happens at every Art of War. As you can see, like, you know, I didn't really know what I was doing in 2018, so I let Ryan have it. Then I came back with a vengeance. I felt bad for him in 2020 and fled with a fearless Spider King, so he took that in 2020. COVID beat both of us in 2021, but I'm happy to announce that Scabvat has reclaimed his rightful Golden Throne, and that is now sat.
Well done, mate.
Thank you. Decisively, I might add. We're given 6 turns to play. I was done in 3. It was merciless. But yeah,
it was quite a battering, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, thankfully, all the things that I set out to achieve, I was able to accomplish. Yeah, we had all 60 people. The prize support was bigger than it has been in previous years, very much thanks to Gobbo here. And yeah, everyone made it to a new venue.
Don't think I've ever sent so many emails in my life.
Yes.
I think I've emailed everyone in the whole of England.
Yeah.
But yeah, done.
So I think over the space of the whole weekend, the 2 people that I felt kind of encompassed the spirit of the tournament were these 2 handsome chaps here. So when I was totaling up best sports, Andy Barton and John Walker both came away in joint first. And realistically, you know, I'm kind of jealous of their opponents over the weekend, and I'm jealous that I wasn't able to be one of them because they're both top-notch blokes.
I was lucky to sit next to Andy at the curry on the Saturday night.
Yeah,
and we've decided how we're going to be doing a Midnight Summer Dream Wood Elf army.
Oh yes, with those new is it Raging Heroes?
With the new Lost Kingdom.
Lost Kingdom. Beg pardon. But yeah, but truth be told, as I was going through the nominations, like there were a lot of people that were in like joint second. So it just seemed like, you know, there were a lot of names in total. So it just seemed like, yeah, a lot of people just had really kind of good, fun opponents to play against, which I think arguably is kind of the most important thing.
Is that normal, Jordan? Is it normal that you get a lot of names, or is it normally just you get a couple of standouts?
So there is usually, and I don't know whether you found it down totting them up, you get a lot of people who have voted for once, and it does definitely scale up to 2, and then 3 or more. What I normally do, I know you didn't at yours, but if there's 2 or multiple people that have got equal votes, I normally do a roll-off, and the person rolling lowest wins. But also what I throw in as well, which people seem to like, if someone goes, oh, it's okay, let so-and-so win it, then that person wins it because they've offered the prize to another person.
So we were considering the roll-off. I had a mad idea at the last moment. So when the 2 of them came,
they're going to fight each other.
Well, I asked them to. I think just after this moment photographed here, I asked them to turn to face one another and offer the other their best compliment. And then I had the other 58 players like vote on the best compliment. And actually, like the cheers were pretty equal. I think Andy slightly edged it out. But then he turned around to John and was like, "We'll tell you what. There's like 2 sets of prizes, so I'll have this one, you have that one." Or like, and they just shared the best sport prize out anyway. So I say top notch.
Really good on.
Like they were pretty much kind of beaming and smiling like that for the vast majority of the
for the whole 2 days.
Yeah.
So I've never played ninth before, no?
Bless him.
Yeah, that's why they were loving it
Podium.
so much. Jordan.
Ah, right. I have to watch what I say, else I get taken out by the shadow council.
Yeah, you'll get assassinated.
Oh no.
So yes, in terms
Podium.
of the Art of War, so the game side of the tournament, 60 players, 5 games, many hours of playing. Like, it was pretty grueling. Guillaume swooped in at the last moment. I think he was the last person to sign up as like a last minute reserve, and then just kind of bounced his way all the way onto podium. With his Infernal Dwarfs, which are fantastic to see. And like the army itself was beautiful. I know I think it was game 3, he had a mirror match against Joe Parmenter. I know there's something that tickles my pickle when I see an Infernal Dwarf mirror match, because I used to collect Chaos Dwarfs once upon a time. So seeing kind of 2 armies facing off was just special. Guillaume, top notch bloke. Surprisingly sober as well, which is.
And he didn't take his hat off.
Controversial.
Yeah, didn't take his hat off all weekend.
It's his source of power.
Sober? I don't think I've ever seen him sober.
Well, I mean, I suppose with Guillaume it's a bit figurative. It's a bit in comparison. Yeah. He wasn't horizontal.
Good.
Also well done him.
Second place,
Mr. Green Seal, with his huge dragon. He's white and purple high elves. Again, I mean, Mark, from what I understand, Mark Greenseal's got a pretty savage and pretty lethal list that just seems to get more and more sharpened with each tournament.
Because he was Saurians for a long time, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He jumped over to Highborns, I think about 18 months ago now. Mark's smashing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely smashing it.
Yeah, he did really, really well. Again, top-notch bloke. But the reigning champion of Art of War 2022 was Tanker. Tanker with his pretty terrifying mobile gunline Dread Elf list. I mean, he was on table 1 in game 5, and he was up against Josh Burns, and Josh had his Sylvan Elves.
Is that Sylvan Elf, Josh Burns? Yeah.
Yes. And there was a moment where I was like, oh, so like Adam's out shooting the Sylvan Elf list, is he? Right, okay. Well, this could go terribly, isn't it? Yes. Well done to Tanker. Took the competition. He was quite a few points ahead of the rest of the pack as well. So he was very, very consistent. One quick honorable mention. So Guillaume officially came 3rd, but Ed Murdoch, UK Masters, he had the exact same points as Guillaume, so they were actually joint 3rd, but Guillaume just edged him out on victory points. Ed just needs, if Ed perhaps had YOLO'd a little bit harder, or maybe just had less KG opponents, then he might have been on podium. But he lost by a hair's width.
Came fourth. But there's that horrible demon list, though, isn't it?
Yes, with even more Dark Hide Scout shenanigans than he had at the UK Masters. So
horrific.
Yes, those were the top 3. Awesome. And then there was the War of Art. So this was the first time that we've run it. So a lot of tournaments will have some sort of kind of best painted competition. There's a part of me that always felt like when you go to a tournament, 3 players will walk away with prizes, right? Because you've got the podium, but only an army will get best painted or best army or whatever you want to call it. And I think there's more to it than just an army, right? I mean, when you look
It's
at,
a
say,
lot
for
better.
example, Golden Demon from Games Workshop, they don't only judge armies. They have a range of categories. So that's something that we wanted to kind of embody and borrow from shamelessly.
But yeah, it was good.
But yeah, so off the back of the War of Art, I mean, yeah, Gobbo, I don't know if you wanted to jump in, but I know you reached out to a lot of sponsors.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, especially one that has ever made a model ever, and I was blown away. But literally just saying, look, this is what we want to do. We want to really support the hobby and the community for the Ninth Age, and people were throwing support at us.
It's absolutely incredible to get that much support.
Yeah.
So we had Artis Opus, we had TT Combat, Malifaux, which is Weird Games. We had Parabellum, Spellcrow.
I mean, Parabellum knocked it out the park in terms of
that was like
support.
€800 of stuff they gave us.
Yeah,
which is just insane, which is fantastic. And even like the SDL companies, which I know a lot of people didn't really have physical things, but we'll go through that in a second.
Yeah.
But that was nearly £1,000 worth of SDLs, which is just fantastic, absolutely fantastic in a 3D print world.
Yeah.
But,
and then to supplement all of the fantastic sponsored support, all of the ticket money from the 60 players was then funneled into other prizes. So on screen you can see well, here we go. Yeah, so the 3 prizes for we decided to podium for best army. So first, second, and third. So we decided to get 3. Effectively, they were like enclosed dioramas, weren't they? So these were bespoke, hand-painted, teeny tiny dioramas from my story box, who's out in Belarus, I believe. So we approached.
They look nice.
Yeah, we approached her and said that, explained everything about Art of War. Said that it was, kind of samurai, ninja, kind of Japanese themed. So she made up these 3. The amount that we paid for them, Ryan and I were talking about this, we would have happily paid significantly more because they were mind-blowing. Like,
well, they're 7 centimeters cubed.
Yes.
So they're a lot bigger on the screen than they actually are. So they are tiny, and all of it is hand carved from balsa wood. And then
that's amazing.
And it is just stunning.
And
as miniature painters, we are blown away looking at these.
Yeah. Like the first thing I thought when I saw those was, my God, the resin pour on these must
have been terrifying,
nerve-wracking. Like, because they are crystal clear. Like, there's not a single streak or bubble in any of them. Like, absolutely gobsmacked. It looked like glass, didn't it?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and 1, 2, 3, the best armies. They came up and chose their ones that they wanted, and I hope they genuinely really enjoy them and show them off, because they are fantastic bits of art.
Yeah. It's nice to have something that you could kind of pop on the mantelpiece. I do feel kind of sorry for the War of Art winners, because it's tradition for us to give them swords, right? Like, that's what Shane and Callum used to do in previous tournaments, but I kind of appreciate it might be a bit difficult to hang samurai swords on your mantelpiece, especially if you've got like kids.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Well, mine's still in the loft.
Yes.
Forbidden prizes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then with some of the other stuff we had from Spellcrow, we got a load of these little goblins from Spellcrow, and we decided to make them into the best in race little trophies and little like scroll holders, which is quite cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we also we threw open the gates to the auxiliary books. So David came in with his Asklanders, which, I mean, we'll see photos photos of those later, but that army was incredible. So we had 17 best in races. We had one trophy left over, which we felt it was only fair to offer that to Artem, who actually already won one as best in race with his Sylvan Elves. Artem was an absolute trooper. He, because of all the weather, because of Storm Eunice, he was actually stranded in London. Like all the trains and buses and whatnot have been cancelled. So the mad lad paid £250 to get a taxi from London to Bristol.
He did not.
He did, and like
behave.
And when he told me, when he sent me a message on the forum saying, "Don't worry, I'm in a taxi," there was a part of me where I had to double take it.
I thought he'd just jumped in with someone.
No, you'd have thought so, wouldn't you? But no, he got a taxi, £250. And he said to me when he got to the event, he said, "Oh, I just really wanted to be here." I was like, "Yeah, I kind of got that."
Artem, I don't know if you're listening to this, mate. Hopefully you do. My next event, you get a free ticket. You don't have to pay for it, mate.
There we go.
That's very kind of you, Jordan.
Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah, well, is that only because he'll have to pay you like 250 quid to get a taxi from London to Birmingham? Is that?
I don't live in Birmingham. How many times do I have to say
my
this?
bad, Walsall.
It's slightly better, worse. Yeah, Artem, that's amazing, mate. Hopefully you listen to this. I'll drop you a message. You're a gent at the Masters Open. So yeah, free ticket, mate. There you go.
Awesome. Cool. And then for the STL raffle, because we didn't feel it was good to use the STLs as prizes because not everyone has a 3D printer or has access to a 3D printer. We decided to try and actually put them to good use, and two little charities that we put forward. So Campaign Against Living Miserably, so for mental health, and then the Multiple Sclerosis Society for UK. And thank you to everyone who donated. We were so amazed with how much we raised.
How much did you raise, dude? Tell the people.
£300 we raised.
Yeah, just over 300.
Yeah, fantastic. Well done, guys.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So £150 to each charity, which is great. And so lucky people got some great STLs as well.
Yeah. Well, in actual fact, So yeah, we raffled it off. There was effectively £300 in the kitty. There was a lot of tickets that people bought. And it we did a random number generator to figure out who won it. And it only bloody well turned out to be Jim, who owns Big.
Nice.
Which was doubly fantastic because it was also his birthday that day.
Oh, amazing.
So yeah, he was a bit dumbstruck. I was a bit worried that it looked like I rigged it. But yeah,
you'd never do such a thing, would you, Dan?
No, I think hopefully we might find it on the tournament wrap up that Hyperg and Lucky Six are going to do. But there is a point where I double take and like check the phone a few times, just be like, "Oh, nice. Is it actually him? Yeah, it's him."
But yeah, no, fantastic. Well done to Jim, and happy birthday for last weekend. And enjoy your STLs.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Here's some of the photos then from the War of Art. So these are some of the entries that sadly didn't quite make the cut, which I think is amazing because these are awesome.
Wow, look at the giant. That's fantastic.
So the giant in the center there, that was, I can't remember whose army it was. I'm very sorry, but it was an orc army that was a warrior of the Dark Gods army.
I can find the name for you if you.
Very cool.
Was it Poor Godballs?
Maybe.
What's the thing on the left, Ryan?
So that is a vampire spawn. So that's an Archvillain Games one. So you had a unit of them on the bottom right. So you had 3 of them there.
Yeah.
And they're again just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Then you had on the top right, you had Andy Barton's Warriors of the Dark Gods with Gribblies everywhere, but he actually made a photo frame for them to go into. But because of the amount of models that he had to extend the photo frame with all the balsa wood and like remember the Goblin Town scaffolding.
Scaffolding,
had that all hanging off the back of his photo frame, which is just fantastic. And again, just the detail and creativity that some of the people put in was fantastic.
If I could jump in, looking at the army list, I'm pretty sure the giant belonged to Ben Dunford.
Ben Dunford.
Yes. Chaos Orc.
I thought it was a Ben, but yeah. Awesome. Then you had Jake, has been working really, really hard with his Infernal Dwarfs as well. He entered his goat into the Judges Open, which was brilliant. But he's got his drill teams, and they're really coming on. And I go, he won the painting award at yours, didn't he?
He did indeed. So I did something very similar to you guys. I reached out to a lot of people. Very similar prizes, I think. The guys and girls at Artis Opus, very generous, as I can see you guys saw as well. And Jake probably has put the most effort into an army I've seen in a long time. He's painting to come on. He's got a theme. And he walked away with a Harder and Steenbeck airbrush.
Awesome.
Just because he deserves it.
And he's got a lot of use out of it now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's going to give it a go. He's got to get a few bits and pieces. But he walked away with a £100 airbrush.
Awesome.
So it shows you what effort can do.
Exactly. And again, it's just with the War of Art, we had, I think it was 10 full armies were entered in.
Yes.
And so I think just the sheer volume of armies, unfortunately, means that Jake's one didn't come top 3, but I still think it's a fantastic army.
This is it. I get some dates next year, guys. I'm going to clear my calendar.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Definitely.
And I'm not going to sell my army 4 weeks before the tournament this time.
Me either.
And then paint a second KOE Goblin army within 4 weeks.
Speaking of, yeah.
Which is on the bottom there.
Beautiful segue.
They're awesome, but dear God, I'm never doing that again. But I was asking Warren to enter the KOE, but he didn't, because I would have voted for him. But and then some of the other 3D printed models. So you've got Shane Baxter, that's the creature caster Death Spectre that he's using as a screamer. I think must be a screamer, mustn't it?
Shrieking Horror.
That's the badger. Him.
Yeah, looks fantastic, doesn't it?
I love the creature caster models. I think they're amazing. But even the detail in the base as well.
Yeah.
You got some more of Ben Dunford's Orc Warriors of the Dark God army up in top right.
That's Kev Stonebank's Beast Heads, isn't it?
In the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
They look great. Beautiful.
Really, really cool. And again, the pictures don't do justice. Again, face to face in front of you when you were there was so much choice down, wasn't there? Well, we had 2 full tables plus also then a third table for the individual entries.
Yes.
And yeah, just mad. Okay. So best single miniature was this happy chap. It's just awesome. It's probably older than
OG Ogre.
Yeah. So the amazing thing about Chris's ogre list is that it was all old school, old hammer metal ogres.
Yeah.
Like every single model was old hammer ogre, and it like you could see the tables creaking under the weight.
Exactly. It weighed more than his car.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, he also did like a big display board, big snowy display board for it as well.
Exactly. But again, just the detail that he's put into it, and again, getting this amount of detail out of an old model as well is really nice. And it was so nice to see on the table.
Yeah.
We then had this monstrosity.
Oh, wow.
So Shane Baxter, Best Monster. So this is, again, his second Shrieking Horror. But he's actually done the tide effects as well on the base. So that wave was actually crashing into the rocks. And the photo doesn't do it justice, but when we were there looking at it, just the detail that he's put into the base and the fact that it's a 3D printed model as well, it's just awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool, isn't it? What's the little guy doing in the surf?
That is one of the Cursed City models, I believe.
Oh.
I could be wrong. So I think that's the vampire that rides the Shrieking Horror.
Ah, I see.
Because it was a Strigoi list, I believe. I could be wrong, but again, just really, really nice.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Best unit, Kev Stonebanks with his wonderful chariots. They were so bright and so vivid, and I loved them.
I mean, I kind of appreciated it because, for better or worse, when I think of like Beastman, Beast Herd lists, like a lot of the time they're just brown.
Yes.
Like I can only think of the color brown, but no, there was something about the yellow and blue mix. They just popped, didn't they? They really had kind of a presence.
And you'll see in a minute with a couple more photos I've got of Kev Stonebank's army. Just the unit as a whole, and with the whole army, it was a gorgeous sight.
I get very frustrated by Kev's beasts because it's very hard to get a photo that shows off all the little bits and pieces. It's the most frustrating army to take a picture of. It really is, because there's so many bits and pieces that don't necessarily always show up on pictures, which is a shame, massive shame.
So
I think he's done the war paint really well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Comes out so well.
Reminds me of the old Death Skulls from 40k. Just the blue face paint.
Yeah, proper feral boys.
Yeah. If you're ever at an event with Kev, go and have a look at his army, because again, the photos just don't do it justice. And then this.
So yeah, Judges Open. Yeah, this was a like all comers, anything goes. So we had this, like something as big and spectacular as this, to like Jake being like, "Here's a goat." It was just like a little goat on a 20mm base, and like everything was fair play. But
given the fact that on the Saturday this got broken, so he spent most of the morning gluing it back together.
Did it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
yeah, this
again,
is.
Sorry, go on.
Well, yeah. So this is part of the Askalanders list. So it was. I mean, I can only describe it as this kind of beautifully constructed spectral longship.
Yeah.
Just kind of flying in over the what? Yeah, it was just like it was one of those models where
it's a longship ambush, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. It was just one of those where you looked at it and you just immediately stopped and was like, what is this? What is this monster? Yeah, he just spent ages just like looking, and he's trying to shoo you away because he's trying to deploy and stuff,
Yeah. Exactly. But there were so many great entries, and this one, just the sheer creativity that he put into it, and the time into the base, the movement tray, the whole unit itself was just fantastic. So 3rd place, best army. Love a good display board.
Yeah, there it is. All 300 kilos of it.
Is that his Twitter handle or his Instagram handle, by the way?
That is Instagram. So Chris is on
Sweet.
Instagram.
I'll go follow him now.
Follow him now. So as you can see, every single model is an old Hammer model. So there isn't a single plastic model on there, which is outstanding. His Scratterpult was an old Halfling Hot Pot, which is easily one of the best models that Games Workshop have ever made. Even his general, so his Great Khan, is the little halfling on the front, at the front there.
Amazing.
But no, Chris still is in the Navy, and he came to the first Art of War in 2018, and has been deployed every year since then, which has been a pain.
Yeah.
And so over the years, he's been gradually remortgaging his house so that he could buy these ogres and repaint them and get them all sorted. And he's done a fantastic job with them.
Yeah.
And he's come away with 3rd best place, which is, I think, it's amazing.
I mean, it's the fact that we decided to do a podium for best army, like I'm like seeing that this army kind of got 3rd, when at previous Art of Wars it wouldn't, in inverted commas, have gotten anything except praise.
Yeah.
Like I'm really happy that we were able to, in inverted commas, formally recognize how amazing the army was.
Yeah, it gets the props it deserves.
So here's some closer photos for you. Again, you've got the Chaos Ogres, you've got the original Man-Eater Ogres, some of the Blood Bowl Ogres, the old Metal Giant. That's the post-More Order one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But even like the Empire Ogres, which he's using as bombardiers with the cannons, just excellent use of like the different tufts, the stones. And I love the blue. The blue really sets it off for me. Cool. Well done, Chris.
Yeah, congratulations, Chris. Well deserved.
Next up,
Yeah.
the army that cannot be photographed.
Ooh.
I mean,
I just love it. It's so good.
yeah, like in kind of in real life, all of those bright yellows and bold blues just really, it just I don't know, it just kind of brought everything together, made everything stand out against itself. That was really, really impressive to look at. It's always good to see Mr. and Mrs. Mino.
Yeah, I love the combination of the Zealot Minos and the Mia Scortac as well. Just that they are so much bulkier than some of the other counterparts. But the combination of the GW models, Mias models, and also Zealot models as well, they all fit really well.
Yeah.
He's got your Furies, not Furies, what are they called? Harpies. Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
He's stolen your idea.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah, they're certainly better painted than mine.
Oh. Arrogant.
Jokes. Oh, jokes. God. So fragile.
I know.
I love Kev's army. He's obviously put a lot of work into it recently because I saw this army at the Masters and a few of the models were unfinished. So, yeah, he's obviously been feverishly working to get it done for Art of War.
It's just the skin folds on Mrs. Mino just kind of weird me out, but
oh, mate, I love it. Oh, yeah.
You love it. You can't tell who you're grabbing. In terms of the shoulder pads and all the he's got the Minotaur, which is one of the original Empire sigils, wasn't it? Cool. Well done, Kev.
Yeah, well done, Kev.
And
beautiful
there
army.
we go. First place. Just wow.
And this is why I was happy. I felt vindicated allowing the auxiliary armies. Like I'll be honest, when I pulled the trigger and said, "Yeah, let's have," I'm gonna approve all of the books. I was worried that there would be some people that would be telling me off for, in inverted commas, throwing balance out the window. Even if they had come up to me and made that complaint, I would just point at this army and go, "I don't care." Like, I'm so happy that David was able to bring this.
Yeah, it's just stunning.
I think it's also because it is an army book that you don't see very often because it's not one of the core 16. There's just that kind of extra kind of excitement that kind
of ooh, what's this?
Because like not only is it a fantastically modeled army, but it's a fantastically modeled army that you might get told you can't take to a tournament.
Yeah.
Like, and that, so it really kind of exudes that kind of feeling of hobby love and like passion. Like, this is something he was so happy to present. And yeah, we were really, really happy to give him a platform to show it off with.
Yeah. Again, I've grudged him for next year already, so I want to play it.
Oh, that means you can lose 2 grudges in a tournament.
Wait.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Some close-ups of David's wonderful army. Just that unit there. It's just awesome. It's so Skyrim, isn't it? How's he done the frost weapons?
It looks like just OSL style airbrush.
Airbrush, isn't it? Just a blast from the airbrush.
He's airbrushed it. I'm just zooming in to look.
Directly onto the snow?
Yeah.
I like that he's done the movement trays as well.
Mm.
They look really good. Where are the models from for that?
They're 3D printed, but I don't know where they're from.
So, David, if you are watching this, and we really hope you are, yeah, just leave a comment down below.
Yeah, smash comments.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's
really fantastic.
Well, it makes me want to do auxiliary armies as well. Maybe that's what we could do, Dan. We could have an auxiliary off.
Well, I mean, you were saying how much you loved the Hobgoblin book the other day, so you do that one, and I'll do another one. Yeah.
There's no point at all. It's just going to be goblins versus goblins, so it doesn't really matter what books you're playing.
Yeah, true.
True. Yeah. Brilliant. Massive thanks to everyone who took part, entered, voted, and bought raffle tickets. It was a really fun event, and we are definitely going to try and do more with the hobby side next year. If we're invited back, Dan. But yeah, I think it went really well, and the feedback we've had overall is that people have really enjoyed having the hobby side showcased as well. Any final thoughts on the Art of War, War of Art, Mr. Dan?
It was an eye-watering amount of work.
Yeah.
But 147% worth it.
That's very particular.
Yeah, it was just like all of the stress and hair pulling and teeth gnashing that we all went through. Because I'm not for a single moment going to take all the credit. Like this only came together as well as it did off the backs of yourself, Tom and Staff, Matt Champion, like everyone who kind of chipped in, all the sponsors, Jim and Ella, like everyone came together, and that kind of, there was a feeling of euphoria at the end of the tournament, just like when everyone was doing their final kind of round of applause, and that just really made it worth it. So 100% Art of War 5 next year is happening.
Definitely 5.5. Okay, so next up is an army that I have never done. I've never done a demon army in any of its forms. Have you guys got demon armies? Did you do demons, Jordan?
Yeah, so I did when the demon book first dropped and it was broken, I went to Scotland and I actually made an army mostly of shells for hoarders. But I green stuffed all the tentacles, used Uhu glue, airbrush, so they actually looked pretty good, considering they were just shells brought from like I don't know what you call it, like a garden centre.
A garden centre.
And then I did a dark forest themed demon army.
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That looked good.
I'm very tempted to start up again with the same look but fresher ideas. And that's in Australia at the moment.
Oh, wow.
With the person who brought it. But yeah, that was a crash course in airbrushing and ink, oil paints.
I haven't delved into oil paints yet. I think
it's the future.
The mess it would cause would
be... cotton buds everywhere, mate. But yeah, I ran demons on tabletop and on UB as well, quite a bit. So yeah, they're a favourite of mine.
Nice.
I played Lost Demons for a while as well. Yeah, good fun. Would recommend.
I remember at one of the Bristols, you pushed a courtesan at me, and I did a little poop in my pants. It was
you did take me off though, Jordan, and I was just completely blinded by your charisma and beauty, so I didn't know. I forgot all the rules.
So I kept winking at you
with his third eye.
My whispering guy.
Okay, so for people that do not know, the demons are hellish agents of the dark gods. They lurk behind the thinnest barrier separating our world and theirs, and they're enemies to everyone, apart from each other. So last time we finished off with Arch-Filling games, but I'm going to start with Arch-Filling games this time because there's just so many of them. So here we go.
Oh, he's a big boy, isn't he?
So I'm guessing a dark pulpit.
Yeah, or just a really cool
Throne of Overwhelming Splendor. Very cool.
That's the kind of beauty of the union between the Demon Legion books and 3D printing. It's just like, this is a really cool model. I can make it whatever size I want it to be.
Yeah. And
so I like the
ninth age overall being model agnostic.
Yeah. I love the burning souls in the behind him into the throne.
Yeah.
And this chappie, who's got quite a sort of trolley goblin face for a demon, but
I wonder why this is showing up, guys.
Yeah,
so he's quite funky.
Ryan's a fan of his trolley goblins.
Yeah. And then going to your almost your Diablo-esque style demon or devil or whatever you call them. Just really funky. And there's his whispering eye in the middle.
He looks like he's having a great time, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Looks like me on a Friday night.
I'm not sure how that axe could be wielded efficiently, especially with his wings flattering there. I'd have to change the axe. I'm not happy with
Magic.
that. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense now. Next up, Demon Cavalry. Just, yeah, the mount itself is horrific.
Like, when it comes to the demon models, it takes a few moments to kind of like visually digest what it is you're looking at, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
usually
suppose you could
something really
unsettling.
unsettling.
Use that as almost like a pseudo vampire, maybe. It's got that sort of undeady feel. Definitely the mount, well, especially the mount.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever seen the Game Zone Miniatures vampires? The mounts there are quite infernal and horrific.
Probably. I'd have to have another look.
Yeah, those would be imposing brazen beasts to throw at your opponent.
I think there's 5 different sculpts available, so you could use them as what do you call them? Yeah, it's brazen beasts. Yeah,
brazen beasts, seekers if you scaled them down, maybe.
Yeah. Good idea.
Or you could even use them as a what they called the hero on
Blazing Glory.
No, you could use it as a blazing glory though if you wanted to, with like centipede legs. I can't remember what it's called, but the hero just mounted because I know Green ran 2 of them recently.
Can't remember.
Harbinger on.
That's it.
Something.
Harbinger on demonic mount.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And then another trolley goblin looking chap.
I'm seeing a pattern here, dude.
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse. Then proper Judeo-Christian demon.
Yes, that's great. Look at the staff. That's fantastic.
Proper Beelzebub, isn't he? I don't like the fact the intestines are showing.
Of all the things that you wouldn't like about that model, you went for the intestines.
I don't hate that. You could have it as like plague and pestilence and everything. It's a very, in the nicest way, and it's not a derogatory comment, a very generic demon.
Yes. And then generic female demon.
I'm trying to wrap my head around what's going on with these bases. Like, I feel like maybe are they added on, or are they literally part of the
They're
base?
added on. You don't have to put them on the base.
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want them, because they look awesome.
Bit cool, mate.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
It's very
then again, if you're gonna go, oh, you know what? I'm gonna print myself a Demon Legion's army. I'm just gonna print all the Archvillain games. Like that's, I think you've earned it at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. However, the price of the models will double because of the amount of resin you're using on the bases. And then my favourite.
Okay, so I know I've seen this one. It pops up on my feed. This is actually in inverted commas, designed to be Orcus from Dungeons and
Yes.
Dragons, like Demon Prince of Undeath.
Yeah.
And like at the end of a campaign, Orcus was the big bad. I can 100% say the model I used at the time was nowhere near as big or impressive as this one.
Yeah. So to buy this model from Archvillain Games is about £129. So he is big.
It's big.
And just the details that have gone into it, I just think it's just fascinating. Painting it would be a nightmare, but it's fascinating nonetheless.
Little side note about these bases, like the scenic bases, whatever you want to call them. I actually think they almost detract sometimes from the models themselves because they're so in your face.
Yeah, that's a good call.
So
like, especially on the female one. Sorry, dude. I was just going to say, especially on the female one, I looked at her and then my eyes were instantly drawn to the base, not the model.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I think with this one, it's understated compared to the other two previously. So
yeah, definitely
a flat base, which is awesome. Again, you got the cape behind him, which is made out of flying flesh wraith things, and then his own little tiny wings.
Oh god,
which definitely won't carry him on a stiff breeze.
He looks a bit like a Minotaur, doesn't
he? Yeah.
He can be whatever you want him to be, Tommy.
Yeah.
And he's got a nipple chain. Oh.
It's one of those models where like you'd be like 30 hours into painting it, and you turn around, look at it from a specific angle, and go, oh, and find like a new detail. Right? I just feel like that model will just keep on giving.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would definitely keep on giving.
Okay. Have you ever played Kingdom Death?
I have the weaponless model from Kingdom Death.
I'm not putting that on here for fear of demonetization.
Yeah, it's a choice. Let's say that.
I'm gonna go on mute because that thing's actually making me gag.
It's not the first time you said that, is it, Dan?
That's us demonetized. Great. So some of the Kingdom Death monsters, quite rightly, are absolutely horrific.
They're amazing, but they're very intense. I think it's probably the best way to put it.
I think demons, which are the embodiment of fear and horror, should be like that in some cases. Rather than just, oh look, he's got wings.
Yeah, definitely. Like you like, especially in like Fantasy Battle, going back.
Oh,
exactly. you read in the army books and little short stories where demons would appear and people would literally fall down to their knees and just start retching.
Yeah.
Because of the sight of them.
Like Dan.
Yeah, like Dan. Brave Empire Trooper Dan.
I'm so unhappy right now.
Okay, so the chappie on the left, basically what happens is Kingdom Death, the whole world is in darkness. If you imagine it, it's pitch black, there is no sun, etc., etc., etc. And so the thing on the left uses his little antenna thing, like an anglerfish, to catch humans, basically, which is just horrific. But yeah, and then on the right you have the little Sun Seeker, I think he's called, and I just love the paint scheme on this one. But again, you could use him as a Maw, you could use him as some of the other more horrific monsters in our wonderful world, but you can't really go do demons without just giving these a casual glance. But to save Dan's stomach insides, I will move on.
Thank you.
And thank you. This is a company called Demons of Hollow Depths, which I've never heard of until I was searching. And these are, again, more fantastical, horrific demons, but 3D printable.
They're cool. They're very cool.
Yeah. So that one on the left there, which is XS and like Lust again.
I see you've been getting those photos of my ex. This is thank you.
Yes. That's right, mate.
It's
again just really, really smart. They're just different sculpts that you don't see very often.
Yeah, they're cool.
And they do for like your courtesans or things like that. I think they work really well.
I think sometimes it's really horrifying when like the body horror is only kind of like 1 or 2 steps away from normal.
Yes.
So like you don't look at it and just completely disassociate. You look at it and go, "Oh, that's like a person."
Oh, he's
But
got 6
wrong.
arms.
But wrong. Yeah, like
Yeah. You were saying, Dan?
oh, stop it.
So it's a demon of pain, which is just not fun. And then you got your
Oh.
Judeo-Christian style demons as well.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
So there is a thing I've not played demons, but I have told myself that if I ever do, rather than traditional kind of horned demons with all teeth and blood and stabbiness, I would subvert it and do a Judeo-Christian like angelic army, because theoretically they're as terrifying, but like go proper Old Testament, like floating eyes with wings.
Dan, I'll send you some of the mock-ups of models I've got for my next demon army. We should talk.
Much appreciated.
We should talk about that.
Yeah, man.
Sounds like someone's beat you to it, Dan.
Yeah.
Sucks to be you, Dan. Sucks to be you. Oh.
Oh yeah, that's really a bit creepy, isn't it?
Oh.
Is that is that thing coming out of his groin or from his guts?
I don't mind.
Both.
I mean, love is love, guys. Like, that's stunning.
The thing that's weirding me out is that on his left antler, there's that little globule thing that has a smile on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice.
It's a little Christmas bauble, isn't it?
I like the way they've worked in the crucifixion, because you don't see that very often.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It's cool, isn't it?
I love an antler.
Fun. So yeah, Demons of the Holodepths. I've never heard of them before. But again, My Mini Factory. Some fantastic ones on there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Titan Forge. And these are your more traditional infernal army sort of style demons, which I just thought were almost a little bit comic book, but I really liked them.
They're really nice. They're nothing too dangerous, nothing too...
Yeah.
Yeah, just...
Good for rank and file.
Video game demons?
Yeah, exactly. So like on Skyrim, you've got your Daedra and stuff like that. So very similar sort of things to that.
Because you could print those off, have them stood next to demons from other ranges, and like
exactly,
there's the same kind of design choices.
Generic AF, but in a good way.
Yeah.
So you can use them as your myrmidons. Is that the bloodletter? What they're called?
Are we allowed to say that word?
Sorry, yeah.
Myrmidons, yeah, you can say that.
Oh, cool.
And then bigger ones, which again, your Brazen Beasts maybe, or even like your Omens.
Oh, that's very World of Warcrafty.
Yes.
Aren't they more like Feldrax for warriors?
You could use them as both.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, super World of Warcrafty. Ooh.
They're chunky boys, aren't they?
Oh, they're really nice.
Quite funky. Again, 3D printable. So Titanfall just throwing out some really good models at the moment.
Yeah.
I do like the Titanforge stuff. I don't think they're dwarf chaos and normal dwarfs get enough love because they've got some great ranges.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the samurai army?
Dragon Empire, right?
I have many opinions about samurai armies.
I know.
Many. You're a monster.
Next up is Lubar Miniatures.
Pick up the Lubar.
Love a good Lubar. I'm not sure what the little beasties are, but I think they're really funky.
So, Jim from Big took a Demon Legion's army to Art of War, and it was kind of an exercise of like, can I 3D print a Ninth Age army? Which you absolutely can.
That's cool.
Especially when it's demons, and these are what he used for his sirens, I want to say.
Yeah, 100%.
Our speedy ones, yeah.
I just find it slightly odd that the one on the left is wearing glam rock boots, but the rest of them aren't wearing shoes.
It's a statement piece.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Style never goes out of fashion, Ryan.
I mean, who are we to judge?
Right.
Oh, it's Dan in miniature form.
It's like the 80s. It's the 80s in my face.
That's that's me around about turn 2 in the grudge match with Ryan.
Is that when you were receiving his love?
Dear. Mantic miniatures. So again, the Mantic models actually are starting to really surprise me. Some of
Massively agree.
Yeah,
the older
here's my hot
ones were
take.
horrific, but these ones are actually.
Yeah, my hot take is that Mantic is like the Skoda of the miniature world.
Mhm.
Like, let's be honest, there was room for improvement once upon a time.
Agreed.
But like, yeah, all the new models, and I think it was around about the time that they started doing things like, I think theirs is called the Forces of the Abyss, like this range.
Yes.
Like their plastic kits have come on leaps and bounds.
You want to check out the Infernal Dwarfs,
Yeah,
or their version, like their warriors for plastic are stunning, and
Yeah.
like that model there, I'd use that as a Kidium Titan all day, every day.
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I'm using the Abyssal Dwarf Black Souls as the bodies for my Black Fur Goblin Storm Vermin type.
You're a mess. You're a
I know,
mess,
right?
sir.
Some more of the Mantic models. So again, these are part of the army set, so you can get the entire army for about £100, which I think is really good for Mantic.
Oh,
I use the Succubi in the top right as my in my demon army. And they're very good, actually.
those guys at the bottom with their hands on fire make me want to do like a weird burnt out Silent Hill-esque vampire count's armor.
Yes.
I don't know why. Oh, I'm going to be so poor.
Well, not as poor, because Mantic are really good value.
Yes.
This is true.
If this picture is anything to go by, once upon a time I was looking at a new set of releases that were going to come out of Mantic, and I thought to myself they would be a fantastic like alternative to the normal style for Demon Legions. But if these are the Night Stalkers,
these are Night Stalkers coming out now. Yeah,
they'd make really good fiends.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, they're really nice.
And then it goes full blown Cthulhu.
Oh, my other ex.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that and whack it on a base, bit of cork. There's you've got more of a Khan.
Exactly.
100%.
I mean,
or if you could scale it down, you've got a load of hoarders suddenly.
Yeah, true.
And then proper just brain demons.
Yeah.
The one I wouldn't use the left or middle, but the one on the right, I'd happily use as a harbinger of change.
Yeah. What are they called now? Nakuja?
Yeah. Anduja sausage. That's what they are.
Exactly. Then that I don't know what you'd use that as, but it's horrific.
Not the what's the one what no one takes in the UK, but the Spanish love it. I can't remember what it's called.
The Omen?
One of the greater demons.
No, not the Omen. The one where he's got like plate armor. I cannot remember.
I have no idea.
Yeah, if anyone who's watching knows, please leave a comment down below.
Definitely. But again, for plastic models that Mantic are throwing out at the moment, again, they're just fantastic.
Oh, they're lovely. Oh, a miser of Sugalag. There we go.
Sugalag.
There we go, a miser.
Awesome.
And it also looks pretty because it's painted by Angel Haradas.
Yes, which always helps.
Oh, God, yeah.
There we go. So thank you very much for the Demon Legions, guys. So if you have any other ideas for Demon Legion models, please let us know, because I am solely tempted to make a proper arcane horror like demon army. But
don't lie, there'll be goblins.
I can't do goblins every time, Dan.
Demon goblins.
Yeah.
Okay, Okay. So next up is Community Pick 2. This is Instagram again, cannibal.inc. And the reason why I chose this one is because it's a lot of muted colours, and it's not very often that I see an account where the actual paint schemes are normally, for want of a better phrase, brown. However, the quality that he's put into it, I think, is fantastic. So I'll just let you guys have a quick look.
Yeah, let's just zoom in. Like you said, it's very muted, but it works, and I think it works because of the models themselves.
Exactly.
With that sort of pseudo barbarian Northmen, and yeah, it just works really well. The basing works really nice. A touch of snow on the cloaks as well. And I'm a big fan of the, especially the guy on the left, the sort of mint green almost.
Yes.
Spot colour on the loincloth. It just adds to it, I think.
It's really nice. So again, the chappie that does this account, he does a lot of Lord of the Rings models as well. A lot of Rohan miniatures, a lot of what are they called? The Isengard.
Uruk-hai?
Not the Uruk-hai. The
Dunlendings.
Dunlendings, that's the badger.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got loads of them, and so just check out his account. But the chappie on the right looks like the chap from Small Soldiers. If you've ever seen that, if you're old like me. You ever seen
Is that when you used to? I'm not old. No, I've never seen Small Soldiers. Is that the one with
the toys that come alive?
I've seen Toys. Do you mean Toy Story?
No, it's way darker than that.
It's way
Oh
darker.
God! What then? When they hold hands as they go into like the incinerator? I think you'll find not.
No, they get nail guns and start firing them at Barbies.
Oh, the dream.
Yeah, really good. I recommend Small Soldiers to anyone who is over the age of 20. So yeah,
I'll watch it tonight.
It's really good, mate. You'll enjoy it.
I'll watch it.
Muted goblins. So again, not bright green.
They're really cool sculpts.
Yeah.
They're really cool. They almost look like Dobby on crack.
Yes. Or he hasn't had his crack.
Yeah. Yeah. Dobby's a free elf. All right, Dobby.
Crack addict Dobby, yeah. That's great.
And then the wood elf on the right hand side there. Again, muted colour scheme, but it's really, really neat. Really, really smart.
Yeah, there's subtle colours, especially on the cloak. It's just nice.
Quite muted overall, I think. I like the checkered pattern on the ghouls.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, it's really nice turquoise, actually.
I hate painting checkers or dags or whatever they're called.
I refuse to.
Out of principle.
Yeah, out of principle, unless I can use, what's it called? Modelling tape and airbrushes. I refuse.
Stencil, yeah.
Harlequins?
No, because I'm not a masochist. Or sadist, whichever one it is.
Both.
Yeah.
But no, fantastic stuff from cannibal.inc. Check him out on Instagram, guys. There's so many more photos that I wish I had time to show you, but loads of things from Lord of the Rings to I'm thinking this is Saga, Dan, is that right?
Saga, yeah, because you can use Warriors of Rohan as early Vikings.
Yeah. Dan, you're very quiet on your mic, mate.
I think he's upset because I sent him the wet nurse picture.
Probably. Yeah.
Right. There we go. Sorry, big man.
Yeah,
yes, yeah, it's probably Saga because I'm guessing from that unit of 8 archers.
Yes.
And this on the right's probably the warlord of the warband.
Yeah. It's just smart models, so I think they're really smart. Cool. So thank you all for watching. Thank you. We really enjoy making these videos and we would love to continue in the future. For hobby homework, guys, something that I really want people to start doing is being really positive about their hobby, but also other people's hobby. So comment on other people's stuff on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, and say what you like about it, what you really enjoy, what would you like to have in your army that someone else has done already. So coming up next month, we have sportsmanship in gaming, a big discussion coming up with that one. We're going to have another special guest speaker like Mr. Bladen today.
Oh, thank you. Very special.
Dread Elves. God, I'm talking AOS. Dread Elves models. And loads more coming up as well in the future, which is awesome. Once again, thank you very much to Mr. Bladen for joining us tonight.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
And for Mr. Tommy T.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Dan, thank you very much.
No worries.
And I hope you get some sleep tonight after seeing all those demons.
Yeah, it's touch and go now, I'll be honest.
I didn't put any tooth fairies in. It could have been a lot worse.
Stop it.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and speak to you soon.
Have a good one.